Hey, with all the continuity on defense or on offense, have you guys been able to just kind of pick up where you left off last year and even expanded the offense as we last saw it?
Yeah, definitely. When everybody's kind of checking in, everyone's hitting me up, hey, how's the first week of camp going? That's really been my response to everybody is we've just kind of picked up where we left off. It's nice to be in an offense that, this is our fourth year doing it. So we don't have to spend so much time on the day one, day two, that kind of stuff. Like we're kind of past that, and we're to a point that we can really just start building on everything that we've already done and get into some of the more advanced and minute details of things.
Hey Kyle, this is David Lombardi. I'm wondering, you guys went on a deep Super Bowl run last year, and you got obviously some extra weeks of practice. You and the Chiefs, I guess. When you talk about this continuity, and then you look at the fact that the offseason didn't really allow you guys to get any on-field work at all, do you feel that there was any extra benefit to the fact that this group stayed together for so long last season that can carry over to this year?
Yeah, I definitely think there's something to say for that. Obviously, there's not too many positives or advantages to having a world pandemic, but if you're going to do it in any off season, I think the best one to do it is right after you just played into February. So we were able to stay together, get that extra month of work, and that time that we're building with each other on the field. But then we get a little bit of extra time that we're off our feet, that we're away from it. We can still do our virtual meetings and work on things mentally, but you have some time to recover from what was a longer season.
Kyle, it's Cam Inman, and one aspect I'm looking at for this season is the need of versatility for players, just with the possibility of COVID-19 striking down rosters. Can you play, and how much is versatility being stressed in camp?
I lost you there for a second, but I think I know where you're going. I think versatility is really the name of the game in Kyle's offense. That's always kind of been the theme here is, everybody has to know every skill position. You got to be interchangeable. Wide receivers got to be able to know what's going on in the backfield. Us running backs have to know what's going on outside. So that's really always been the case, and I think that's just going to play into our strengths and be something that we really can use to our advantage in this season. In the case that guys were to go down, who knows? You can only dress 2 or 3 receivers one game, and a tight end's got to be able to play that third receiver, or a halfback needs to play tight end. Whatever it is, I feel like we're kind of built for that.
Hey Kyle, it's Jennifer. How are you doing?
Good. How are you doing, Jennifer?
Good. Jimmy Garoppolo talked about how he hasn't really thought about his knee at all this off season, and obviously he's had a whole season of starting under his belt. What have you seen different from him that's kind of shown his progress?
It's hard to say from an outsider's perspective, other than the fact that you see that he's not wearing a brace. So that's the biggest thing that stands out to me. But I just know, speaking as an athlete myself, that when you don't have to think about something, if something's not in the back of your mind and it's not, weighing on you, it relieves so much stress, so much pressure, and you're able to play so much more freely. So if he's not thinking about that knee, like if it's not even in his head, that's going to be a huge advantage for him, and something that I know, just as an athlete would make me play better, and I think you're going to see it from him. When you don't have to think about that stuff, you can just go turn it loose.
Hey, Kyle, I think the conventional thinking this year is that rookies are going to be hurt the most by what happened, the disruption in the off season. I just wanted to get your thoughts about your 2 rookie running backs, Savon Ahmed and JaMycal Hasty, how they've done with the Zoom meetings in the off season, and what you've seen from them from, albeit the short amount of time you guys have been together in training camp.
Yeah, and the short time I've spent with Savon and Hasty, they've done a really good job. They've been on top of it as far as the virtual meetings go. There are some advantages to coming to a more veteran team, to a team that's been running this offense for a long time. That it's hard to explain, but there's something to be said about when everyone around you knows what they're doing. It pushes you a little bit more to know what you're doing, and things are just a little more clear for you. When, I see it a lot of times when you get, you gotta get on an offense that everything's brand new. Guys next to you don't exactly know what they're doing either. There's a lot of hesitation. There's a lot of muddy water. It can get murky out there. But when everyone around you is clear, defined, knows exactly what they're doing, it makes things clearer for you. So I think that's one benefit that these rookies have coming into this offense. And also, I think that they get a little extra time with coaches. In that time that we might have spent with the veterans had spent with the coaches going over some of the basic stuff. We don't necessarily have to do that anymore. So a little more attention can be given to these rookies. I do agree. It seems like an uphill battle. With less practices, less meeting time, less games, all that stuff for them. But I do think there are some things working in their favor.
Hey, Juice, it's Kiana. We talked to Trent Williams earlier this week, and he was saying one of the guys that he's looking forward to is Jarryd McKinnon's return, and he's saying that he can't fathom him not being a breakout player. Just since you're in the room with him, what have you seen from Jerick over the last, I guess it would just be a week, or the last couple of months through Zoom meetings, him being ready to get back to the field?
Yeah, I think we all share the same sentiments as Trent. Like, Jet has looked phenomenal. You just would never guess going out there and watching the way he practices, how smooth he is, how he doesn't second guess himself, how quickly he answers questions in meetings, all that kind of stuff. You would never guess that this guy hasn't been on the field for 2 years. He just makes things look so natural, so smooth, that I think, there can only be positive things for him this year. I think he's going to have a really good year.
Hey, Kyle, it's David again. I have one more. I'm just looking at how Kyle Shanahan has added pieces to this offense. From a blocker's perspective, it seems to me that he's got some big bodies now on the outside, and you look at Jalen Hurd, Jawan Jennings. You could, extend that to Trent Williams and obviously George Kittle and the tight ends. Do you feel that this year, more than any other, with that whole collection of big bodies, especially a receiver, how do you feel that can really realize Kyle's vision of what he's trying to do with the outside zone as far as blocking in space?
Yeah, I think that's big. We've been stressing from day one, from the day I got here, that receivers have to be able to block, that it really is all 11 players involved in the run game. And that's including the quarterback and him carrying out his fakes. So I think what we're teaching and the mentality hasn't changed. But like you said, I think those bigger bodies will definitely play to our advantage. But also the guys that, maybe aren't the bigger bodies, guys, like Trent Taylor and Kendrick Bourne, they make up for that in their mentality. I mean, those guys, they have no problem getting dirty, mixing it up there in the box. So if you want to play receiver on this team, you have to be willing to block. And I think you saw that last season. And, there's a reason we were number 2 in the league and rushing, is because all 11 guys on the field were committed to blocking for the guys that were handling the ball.
All right, we've got one more question from Jennifer.
Hey, Kyle. Both Jerick and Trent talked about the energy on the field and how it's been way more than they kind of expected. Not walkthroughs, not run-throughs. Trent Williams even called it a game. Can you just kind of share with us what it's been like on the field?
Yeah, I think I just have to echo what they're saying, that you can't blame guys. We've been pent up for too long. We haven't seen each other. We've been in quarantine. We haven't been able to be physical. It's really just kind of what you expect. Once you get on the field, things are expected to be walk through, jog through tempo, but guys just get excited. They start flying around, and all of a sudden you got some full speed drills going on. So you just got to remind each other, where we're at, take it slow. We're going to have our time to hit each other. But I think we're making each other better while we're out there.